Hey everyone, I'm David Heinemeier Hansen. I work for 37 Signals. What I am going to talk about though a little bit is how lonely I feel up here. So I work for 37 Signals. We're not looking for VC funding. We're not hiring. We're profitable. And it feels kind of weird to be in a collection of young, smart people and feel a little bit alone in that sense. Like, most of the talks this morning and most of the questions were, how do I pitch my VC? How do I do this? How do I do the other thing? That doesn't really perhaps relate directly to, hey, how do I build a business that's actually viable, short of Google deciding to opening its purse and picking me up? I think there's too little talk among startups about just making money on their own. We've been thinking about, like, this is the classic conundrum, the slashdot question. You have a great application, and then something magical happens, and then you have profit. So we've been studying this conundrum for some time at 37 Signals. We've been talking to a lot of people, been doing our research, we've been doing experiments, testing things out, what would work and what wouldn't. And we found out that having a prize is really cool for getting profits. I mean, you have customers, they pay you money for the product or service, and you get profit. And I mean, it's such a weird notion. It's almost too simple to work. But I've heard that over time, hundreds of years actually, that has been how most businesses have made their money. But somehow, I think that notion got lost in the web world. And the funny thing is, we played this game before. We played it back in 2000. It was all about the eyeballs. It was all about the VCs and then getting bought out or going IPO or whatever. It didn't really work then. Now we're playing another round because there's money ready again to be invested, money ready to buy out social media networking things. And the cool thing about having a price is there's so many different ways to have it. It's not like there's only one approach to it. At 37 Signals, we have a really simple, dumb idea, which is just get people to sign up for a product. They pay us every month. If they continue to like the product, they continue to pay us money. And that works for us. We've been more than doubling our revenues for the past many years. We've been doing this. Many, which is a funny thing in the startup world, for us is like 4 or 5. But it still worked out to be a multi-million-dollar business. And we're pretty happy with that. The really cool thing about all of this is you don't need to be a fucking genius to make any of this work. It's not rocket surgery. I mean, it's really just that simple 3-step idea. You have a great application, you ask money for it, if people like it, they'll pay, and you profit. And the reason I don't think that logic is very good is because the odds are not created equal. The odds of you in here making the next Facebook or YouTube or MySpace, tiny. The odds of you actually just creating a product that a few people will like and pay you money for, not that shabby. Still hard, but not as hard as trying to be a billion-dollar company. But people get into this notion that it's really this easy. We hear these stories all the time. The Facebooks, the MySpaces, and the YouTubes are broadcasted again and again and again. It's kind of like reverse terror alerts. So the probability of something like this happening, like the probability of you being crashed on a plane, tiny. But the fear you have of it, or the desire you have to be that next Facebook, huge because it's being broadcasted over and over again. You're being brainwashed. So,